Right. So, hello, Lisa, and welcome to the Cloud Square podcast. Thank you so much for taking out time for this session. I am Shashank. I'm a product designer and your host for the session today. So, I would like to start off by asking if you could share a little bit about yourself and your journey so far.
Of course, of course. Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for having me, Shashank. I think it's a very lovely talk that we're gonna have, and it's such a great invitation. So I'm Lisa. I'm senior product designer based in Berlin, Germany, and for my last 8 or even more years of career, I've been everywhere, basically everywhere, at agencies, product companies, startups, doing it all. I still remember how Sketch looked like, and now with Figma Make and AI tools is definitely a different discussion and journey that we all having. So I'm really I prefer to think of myself that I'm a survival as well in those all kind of environments, and the creative that can combine both the strategical thinking and being creative and open-minded and just maybe a person who can listen to others and that we can be on the same page. And it's very, very important whenever you're doing anything in product design, because it's all about empathy. So that's mainly what I'm also looking into. Shall I tell you a little more, like, how the career
Yeah, of course.
progressed for me so far?
I would like to know more about your origin story. Like, where did you come from? How did you enter the European design industry, and so forth?
Yeah, of course. That's also the question that sometimes I'm being asked by my mentees, the ones that, for example, are in my home country, in Ukraine, or just moved to Germany, where they are now, and I'm also on that market. And it's definitely was easier for me in 2020 when I just moved to Berlin to fulfill the position in a German startup that is now has grown so much that is I would say that is more closer to the corporate culture, and it definitely is a scale-up company. And honestly, 2020, just a month before COVID hit, that's the time I just arrived in Berlin. And I would say it's still a happy end story, because I gotten to know people I've been working with face to face, going to the office almost every day. And then the whole world changed. And so the way we do our jobs and the way we collaborate, meaning that the hybrid environment of work is now the standard one. Or, of course, if you have a more diverse way of working at your company. But basically, I just arrived. I've been super, super excited about working at the German startup, where I found myself in the middle of old cultures and people of all kind of backgrounds in my teams, and that was especially beautiful and cool. Which as for designer and just for any person in Berlin, because maybe it also teaches you how to collaborate in so many other ways. When to be direct and when to be more, let's say, vague or more fitting into the culture and expectations, solved as well as giving the right feedback, or the following the feedback culture and enriching everything that you have, especially when your users are from DACH region, but you work in a very diverse and multicultural team. So that's how it started. And that journey with that company lasted for 5 years, which I'm super was happy about. And honestly, I guess I've been lucky to be the part of any product that we had there in the company within the product line, B2B, B2C, a little bit here, a little bit there, and that's also something that I would say is cool for designers to experience. But nowadays it's different story. Let's be honest, it's different story. And there are so many other obstacles and things to keep up with when you wanna get into the German market or into any other European country job market as a designer. And what I usually reply is that whenever you see yes, every designer should be a generalist designer. It's true, but also what companies are looking for now is the designers who have experience in a specific industry and with a specific business model and methodology. So if you're good at B2B or B2C, finance or entertainment or healthcare or very complex B2B systems and so on with many users, that's I guess you should be looking for to find the match. That, and of course be more explicit with your portfolio and with your CV and with everything. So that's what would help, and a lot of patience and just a humble but a good self belief, I would say, because definitely it's not that easy to keep up with the market now and so on. Although I definitely know many cool success stories, or that would just warm up our hearts whenever it comes to how to get there.
So as you mentioned, like about your origin starting from Ukraine. What kind of educational background did you have, and how did you land the internship role the first time you got it?
Yeah, of course. So again, we were talking about 2019, 2020, and there many companies were looking for tech experts who know the stuff, but also willing to be relocated to Germany. And as far as I understand and I know, it was the part also of a German policy program when there was a need for tech specialists, and which can be fulfilled also with let's say immigrant experts. And Ukraine is on a list of countries that are advanced with the digitalization and tech, and truly it is like that. Like I have this crazy story whenever I'm sharing that we have the whole app where you can get married, get your driver license, or just finish up some bureaucracy. It's just the app, but for the whole nation.
Wow.
To my
That's so
German
much in
friends,
contrast with Germany.
Exactly. Of course, it wasn't achieved like in one day. It took a few years, but this open-mindedness and being maybe even like expectation of ourselves and of the world, how it should function, the bureaucracy shouldn't hold us back, and it can be replaced with the cool technology. So that's what kind of the background and the mentality I'm coming from. And of course it was super cool to bring same to Germany, and that's what Germany was and still is open for. It's just a matter how we phrase our expertise and so on. Honestly, I've been just applying for side projects that I've been that I wanted to be to explore more, to be passionate about, and I also applied for that job that soon became the fulfilled position of mine. That was the another website that I think it doesn't exist anymore. Honestly, it's just where startups meet experts, tech experts, and so on. And that open position was there. I've been contacted, of course, by a recruiter. Got the first interview, the second case study. Just accidentally and very much luckily, I've been in Berlin to present that case study as it was planned, and of course that played out very well. So just maybe one more tip that I think would be helpful still is to meet your potential employer face to face whenever you have the opportunity, for interview, whiteboard challenge, or for any presentation. Is just the way how you can define whether there is a strong match, and interview your employer as much as they do in your towards you, and same they do the same. Yeah, they just want to make sure, yeah, you're really person, your design thinking is like that, and I guess it's just lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, that was very helpful and like very important. I do agree. So right next, to follow up with that, I would like to ask you, what were some of the early career lessons that you had, and like which still shape your understanding of product thinking and design?
Of course, it's a very important question. As much as basically trace your own progress and what was helpful, what worked out well, and what now you can reflect on and maybe get and maybe wanted to change. That's basically the first tip and the first thing that that is useful for any everybody in their career development, is just to be quite aware of where you are, what your role is, what's your progress within the last years, whether you're working in the company and in that industry you see yourself in for this year or a couple of years. And if you like to change anything, it's also a cool tip to showcase and think about industries you wanna get into, not exactly the ones you already been to, because your portfolio is basically should say like, that's who I am, and maybe the older projects that's still the part of your experience, but not exactly your destination. So that's just like a tip, like think about your role and also your individuality as a product designer. Because there are, even when you say a senior product designer, I just want to make sure this, because it's very important. It's not the person who knows everything and can resolve any situation in life and in the work life as well. It's not exactly like the ideal perfection, so to speak. No. It's actually no. Yeah. And even seniors are so diverse. It depends on what companies and what you identify yourself with. It's not that you should master your Figma skills and your strategy skills and research skills to 100%. It still should be kind of as a profile that you wanna develop. So, for example, it's same applied to me. If you feel like there are specific skills, or rather tasks, and then job that you really fond of and you wanna go deeper and you like to perform, just ask yourself why. Like, what can be in the future? Can you combine a few things with that? Like maybe you're really into research. That research goes very hand in hand with the stakeholder management, with the facilitation, and so on. And it's a cool just thing to see yourself as a senior product designer that are very much focused and experienced or specialized in that kind of things. And that's just a tip, I guess, for middle designers who just wanna position themselves in a good way that would benefit them. And the same for me, it was kind of an insight, honestly. 2 years ago or something, I had kind of the crisis of imposter syndrome, that like I should have become as a senior, but then I've been asking myself, like, who is a senior? And I had a few cool talks with mentors, leaders, senior product designers, just asking them, like, what do you think, do you think that person is? Like, who is really, like, what are the tasks, or rather what is the mindset? And for me, the right answer is that it's not a person as a Swiss knife to everything, but it's rather a mindful person that has a plan and can benefit the company, same as the company in a way benefits them. So maybe just give some relief. I want to give some relief to people who are on a journey to seniority. That please do not break your back, so to speak, to achieve this perfection. It's not about perfection. It's about really being a good expert, who wants to learn on a constant basis. Because it's technology, it cannot be the end of your journey. Knowing just that, you should still enrich your toolkit, so to speak, and skills, and just be open-minded to everything that would come, but mindfully with a plan.
So your suggestion would be to not be a generalist and rather focus on a specific aspect of the design project.
I would say that many companies would specify that they like to have a generalist designer, and I do understand that the need to formulate thoughts like that is coming from from the expectations that the person would know specific things, right? And they, of course, it's not like you do Figma designs, but you do not do testing. Then it's not exactly what your employer is looking for. You should do both, or rather that's your role description. But what comes on top of that, on top of the good foundation in every aspect of product design thinking, is kind of like your special in the profile, your special individuality in product design. Maybe you're a master in specific AI tools, or in strategy, or in facilitation of your stakeholders, and so on. So I would say it's like you're being, I don't know, a cool flower with all product design parts in it, but then you have a special thing and your own specialization that would fit the company, because sometimes they are looking for some rare features or experience of product designer.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So since you have been working since, I think, almost more than 6 years now as a designer, what would be your insider perspective on the current design market?
Right. Yeah, it's actually been 8 years and maybe more. I forgot to. No, all good. I also sometimes forgot to, or not keeping up exactly with the years. Should have counted. But it was quite a while, because like I said, I know how. I still remember Sketch, how like design in Sketch and all other tools. It was crazy now when you think about it now. But yeah, like the job market and the job expectations, or rather the role expectations, have shifted so much, and if I would reflect how design role was basically developing, is first of all that it's still a little bit location oriented, to be honest. It's like there would be a few nuances if you work in Germany, or if you work in Great Britain, or in Ukraine, or in USA. It's still the job market, and it's natural for it to have special tricks about it, and that would influence the expectations of your role. But if we would think globally, and let's say like for the last 8-10 years, designers are coming from the role of pixel pushers, so to speak, and for aesthetics masters, when we wanted to make it beautiful, make it blue, tell me the margins here, how does that look like on a mobile, towards the next phase. The next phase was what's your product design thinking like? Could you please do a little bit of research? Could you please do the testing? Could you please tell me how that works together and what to expect from design and from product development. And that's super cool that we now, of course, it's like covering, like designers do everything covering the double or triple diamond, because it's like exactly the renewed, right?
Yeah.
Methodology into the next phase. That's what I'm feeling like. Nowadays it's a new phase. It's more like what can designers do in AI technology era, like many things of research or of testing or even of prototyping people can do with AI. And some stuff, of course, they still need you, but it can be executed parallelly, simultaneously with the way you do in your job. So it kind of says like you don't have to do that. We can also ask AI research with it or something. But now it's a very good question. Like, what would you do? What can you do? How can you benefit your company as a designer in AI era? And for me, it's now it's impossible to answer this question without mentioning AI. So I hope for your understanding, but it's rather for me the answer to questions: how would I contribute to the strategy of the product and of the company? How would I strengthen the understanding of future and make this uncertainty?
You can mention AI, like what kind of tools do you use in your workflow these days?
Yeah, of course. So like with the AI, honestly, what I've experienced that is mostly helpful, and it also depends on the company you do, is just the LLMs that you use for your research. So things like Perplexity, Claude, and ChatGPT, and so on, just to use that like as a brainstorm partner on a specific industry. That maybe you will get some reports. Maybe you can compare the data. If that's the corporate AI that you use is the best, then you should still not use the exact user data and names and so on. But you should feel more safer to describe what the situation is and what you would like to learn more. So it's a research. But then I can see that the designers would benefit very much and would be even more in a driver's seat whenever they use AI prototyping tools. So maybe it's now your turn to shine, because you can prototype the ideas and make them clickable, real, and tangible just with AI tools. And you don't have to wait for engineers and for your PM to approve something. Sometimes it's a matter of 30 minutes or something, and if that's the same what you could use you could do in Figma, you can then it's the compromise is very clear. It's very nice. You just want to showcase the idea, and all the details, design system, and so on would come later. And now it's kind of that you are in the driver's seat, and rather than just you following the ideas that were already in the room. So it's just cool to combine. So see if that would strengthen your strategic designer position in your company. But for me, sometimes it's a very good idea. It would make things go faster and with the less dependency on with your team or something else. But just finishing up the question, like what we are now in the phase is basically that is the open question for all designers. But I heard very cool thing about the founding design community in a very good webinar, and basically they saying do things that AI cannot do and couldn't do at all in the future. It's a good at strategizing, good at collaborating with people, talking to them, advertising, and so on, users and your stakeholders and your colleagues. and have a if possible, maintain the big picture, because you can connect the dots, and it's not AI that should do that, and it's not the AI that is a decision maker. Maybe you could do that. You could be the one.
Are you aware about the recent hype in the industry around Claude Code and Figma MCP?
Yeah, a little bit. There is a hype about that, and so on. And it's not the first and not the last wave, I guess, with that. It's just again, it's just a question to all designers, and it's cool to research now and see and grab some information here and there. What designers should do, or what should I as a designer do in an era of AI? Even when your design can be detailized and visualized with AI for a few minutes, and it's definitely something else. And maybe that would, when you find it, your vision of that answer, it should also bring you a little bit of, I guess, the rest of the mind. But still, I do understand how it's quite difficult to keep up also.
Keep up with, so everything coming up. Each and every other week you see something new comes up, and then it boggles your mind, how do you keep up with so many tools that are coming in these days? And which ones to pick, and which one will last the next 3 to 4 months?
And so it's crazy. I'm curious about your approach there, but mine is basically paying attention to product and team needs more than just the recent news every day that something is a new tool, a new feature, and so on. Because it's not exactly that you should use every tool or every feature. You're still basically the one who define whether it's going to be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, you asked about my approach, so
yeah, tell me.
Basically what I take a look at is what is the hype around, and then I go online and check that tool personally myself, and then I also pay attention to how economical it is, like to carry on with the subscriptions, because all of those tools have subscription models these days. So personally, I've been using Gemini for image generation, Copilot, and I use VO for the videos, and Lovable for prototyping. So
exactly. Thanks a lot for also bringing these names, because I forgot to answer about the AI prototyping tools. Lovable for sure. I'm keen of Cursor and as with the tools that help me to make the PRD document, the product requirement document, in a good way, so that the AI tools would really like talk to each other, so to speak. Yeah. So that's what makes sure, what was worth to check. Claude AI as well. I know that engineers, or at least like many engineers I'm talking to, love and use Cursor as well in their companies, and maybe that can be like also like if you have that in your company and your engineers use that, it means that you already maintaining some ecosystem of your AI tools. And then it's like perhaps it makes sense not to multiply them, but maintain the ecosystem in a meaningful way. Maybe you can use a Cursor and go and create a jury ticket, or some designers even do the push request and so on, right? And if you have a cool system that is built on the reliable approaches, it's cool to use same toolkit, because then engineers and you and PM and so on can use it together. Yeah, just the way we use together Figma, why not we would use some parts of Cursor as well.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought. I was also thinking that at some point in the future it will become a collaborative thing similar to Figma with all these AI tools coming in. I think that's what the future entails. But I would like to ask you as well, like, what do you think in terms of how AI will evolve the future roles of designers?
Yeah, definitely. That's like we already started to answer that question with the with thoughts on what would designers do in the era of AI and everything, and it's a tricky
Jobless.
question, right?
Hopefully not
Jobless.
jobless.
Yeah. Some of us might be jobless or just change the direction of design career, because it's not only like product design, right? We also have web designers. We can be super cool and specialized only in UI or only in UX, or basically AI designer as well, because that's what might be upcoming future look like for us, the AI designers. And I see a lot of people in their LinkedIn profile having that title, and I think quite for some period of time, and even now, we might have a broad and diverse understanding of what is that exactly, AI designers. But I can foresee, I can just imagine that maybe at some point companies would get just naturally, evolutionary speaking, into the understanding of what they expect from AI designer. So maybe that would be even the expectations of having the experience with the exact tools, but also with the collaboration with your team through that tools, so that it's not only you using the tools, right, but you know how to collaborate in the new environment, in the new ecosystem. It just would, I guess it would get more standardized and more clear, just like 10-15 years ago. Some people were already using a double diamond or heart framework for success metrics and so on, and some people in the companies were just like learning them, like what is that. But nowadays, if you say, hey, I'm using Google Heart framework or the North Star framework for my product, among designers and tech people, it's not like something so diverse and so uncontrolled, right? It's some best practices that we are aware of, and we at least consider when times for testing or setting up success metrics. And same here, maybe we would get more standardized, because like you said, okay, new tool every day or every month, new feature and so on. And it's quite overwhelming, and it's not exactly that every tool is super cool and you have to get your hands on it like right away. Maybe in the future there will be some standard and some and second, very much important point, policies, best practices of using the AI ethics, or rather be truthful to AI ethics, and that involves the meaningful and good way of using user data or any data with your AI models, as well how we do AI features in our products as designers, as the one who introduced the AI-driven features to users. That also involves AI ethics, even if we train our own AI in our product and we don't want to go in the wrongful steps as big LMs before did, meaning we don't want to feed wrongful data. We don't want to train the AI model to be discriminatory or something. And that's all that for me is very important. It's like as a designer, it's not only that you're money, right? But also user advocacy, of course, but also like thinking, all right, how do we do things? How do we do things ethical and truthful for ourselves? Maybe that would help us also be more confident. That it's not only that we execute and we design and we draw beautiful things and we showcase, but we also the ones who are initiating the discussions around ethics, user psychology, product development, and asking those uncomfortable questions like what would we do in this case and in this case as well.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I think AI impact is something that we will be all keeping our eye out on, how it evolves over time, because it's constantly changing and constantly we have to look at how others are adapting and adapting to it. So, yeah, so since to follow up with that, I observed that you have been taking mentorships for quite a while now. So, how has been your mentorship journey?
But right to the question of mentorship, that was also quite a very appreciative journey for me, and I hope also for the people that I talk to and I try to support. I'm doing that for more than 2 years now, and honestly, I started to do that with the longing to contribute to the community, to give it something as much as I've been also getting from mentorship sessions when I've been a mentee a couple of times, and it was very cool. It definitely just to be connected with the world and with your so to speak colleagues and experts in design. This is also the way, and it's sometimes involves talking to another senior product designer in another field or industry, also to if you're curious about it, for your job search, for your career development, anything. It is quite helpful. So I started with that motivation, and honestly, in a tight connection of mentee and mentor, both sides would get a lot. It's in the relationship where exchange happening every moment, and it's not only that you're giving, it's actually that you, as a mentor, you also getting a lot, and sometimes it's validation of your knowledge, sometimes it's appreciation, and sometimes it's just that you're basically learning something new from your mentees as well. So it's a very cool story. So I've been mentoring at ADPList as an international platform, which gotten more controversial for the last years. It wasn't like that when I started. So for me, it's still honestly an open question and rather an open challenge whether I wanna sustain the mentorship there, due to also a little bit of controversy.
How so? Controversial in what sense?
I guess if you're following just the CEO of ADPList on LinkedIn and just going with through the text or with his name on LinkedIn, you would know that there is even AI, for example, AI note taker that doesn't ask your permission. And that's
Okay.
already like quite a bad move and red flag
Yeah.
for such a platform that claims to be advanced technology and so on.
Okay.
But just one thing, I guess there is a way to turn it off, but just for example. And I think that there were as well some bad situation involving compensating mentors and mentees, and be clear with your audience what the platform does. So I'm not gonna as well also point out all the stuff that is happening there, but just think is that sometimes like recently, just one mentee also asked me like, "Hey, I heard and I read about ADPList here and that. Could we please have the session actually on other platform?" And honestly, it's also not a problem. Like any other tool platform can work, like like just for the meeting, Google Meets, anything. But in that platform, at least what I'm experienced, that my mentees would find me as fast as possible and as much as they want to. So that's just what is there when it's coming to the more like a technical side of the question. And with the I guess I want to just share that that as a mentee, and if you're looking just for one-time mentorship advice, this is also available. what at the platform, and if for me, as when I given up my hours, that's totally okay. But please consider that classically mentorship relationship is long term and built on the request that actually requires a few sessions. And it's also something that it's a relationship basically. Yeah, it might be just like I know, for 3 meetings, but it might be for a year, for years, because it's very cool to be in touch constantly with the person that you can ask, like, what do you think about that? Whenever you feel uncertain, confused, stuck, all of that.
Yeah, you feel like you are a part of their journey when you keep in touch for a longer time.
For sure. And that's exactly the space where a mentor can give you not only, like technical advice, like do here and that's cool, that's not, that is not gonna work, but also ask you more very much meaningful questions around your career, like how are you feeling about being in that designer role for year,s how are you feeling about that job situation, that work situation, what else do you expect from your career, or basically like what's there that you like now about design in this rapidly changing world. So those are questions. It's not like we ask ourselves very often, because very often we just work and sometimes overwork ourselves.
Yeah,
and those
of course.
questions are very cool actually, to take a moment and stop and answer them.
Yeah, so lastly, I think would be a last question to you is, since you have had so many mentorship sessions, what is some of the crucial mistakes that you see young designers or juniors making to enter the market?
Yeah, right. When entering to market, like the first thing that popped up in my mind is something that is not directly connected to getting on the market, but rather the mistake that might hurt your result of interview or of your stakeholder meeting and so on, is basically not giving any context and jumping right into the designs, or right into your I did that and I want to do this, that's it. Honestly, design is so much richer and broader ocean
So
than
zero
just,
context.
than just screens, pixels, like beautiful buttons and so on. No. Like even we practice that also during mentorship sessions. I mindfully and intentionally could stop a person and ask, like, hey, could you give me a little bit more context? We just new here in this space, or into that user flow, or into that issue you want to tackle. Could you please tell me a little bit more? What happened before that? What's the goal? What's your challenge like? What are the other actors that take a play in your situation? So give the context, and it's like it's everywhere. This is the way how cool is to be in the contact and impress your people you're in a conversation with, whenever they are your job interviewers, stakeholders, your team. Start with the context, start with the that was my design thinking, that's why you're gonna see that, and only then you show whatever, screens, designs, prototypes, and so on. It also helps you to showcase the design is not only the screens, but it's a lot of work and a lot of thinking and a lot of care for the users and product, and would show would basically show you as a person who knows that many things should come before we just go to Figma, and many things happens after we leave Figma. And before and after, that's actually the design thinking. And in Figma, we just execute things, we showcase, and in order to push the discussion further, not the other way around. Because that's the first tip. So many people do that. Maybe it also just out of the lack of experience, or nobody pointed this out to them. But if you see that your friend, fellow designer does that, or you also have the mentees or junior designers, please bring that also to their attention, and that would definitely already level them up.
Yeah, that was very insightful, to be honest. And yeah, so since you mentioned that about the mentorships, uh, I couldn't help but think, when I put myself in your shoes, I would feel a little bit frustrated some at times. So how do you deal with those situations of frustrations?
Yeah, of course. The frustration can come from many work situations, so to speak. Honestly, like whenever I'm dealing with the change requests, or also with the mentee that would expect so many things to be tackled during just 35-40 minutes. Sometimes a person says, hey, for today I wanna you to review my CV and portfolio. Then we do that, and of course it's not enough of time to do that deeply, to answer the right questions with your positioning and the company you wanna get into. So I think it might be a little bit mutual frustration, where the person cannot talk further due to the lack of time and timing, and tries also to push the timing, like, okay, just another question, just the last question, just another 5-10 minutes. And honestly, yeah, it's just I guess the matter of being respectful towards each other's time and setting, and there is a reason why mentors would invite you to the second mentorship session to go to make a deep dive on the specific topics. So that would be respectful and good for their time and for yours as well as a mentee. And just to remember, like, we don't do that with the work meetings. If the setting is like 1 hour or something, and then your colleagues should get to work or to another meeting, you cannot say like, hey, just one more question, just another 10 minutes. It doesn't work that way. So I guess that's maybe the mutual frustration, a little bit of mine. Honestly, here, just be polite and honest. Like, here's the timing, but I really would love to see you in the next session. Let's take it to another time, or please take it also to your homework, and I'm available in the chat, for example, any moment, any minute from there, depending also the way how you want to structure your mentorship. This one, I guess no questions are stupid or bad when they are being asked. It's actually cool when people mentees ask a lot of questions. And what I find sometimes challenging, but still quite cool and curious, is to not only timetable the questions and topics, but also encourage them to postpone or table the question at all, because again, we are out of context. Maybe we are super focused on a specific UI component that we do not talk about product development phase or OKRs and so on. And it's an art also to maybe redirect your conversation with mentee in a way that they would stay still motivated and encouraged. And please, just I guess my approach is that I'm letting people know that, hey, it's super cool, but there is so much more background that goes together with that design solution. Can we please talk about bigger picture?
Yeah, I think we should all learn to value each other's time. That is most important thing. So
For sure.
yeah, I think that would be uh, time to end the session today. It was very lovely having you over and sharing your insights and taking out time for this session. So,
Of
but there's
course.
been almost like a lot of discussion already happened, and we already have scope for another session or another set of discussions. But today we need to call this day over here. So,
Okay, of course. Thank you so much, Ashan, for
thank
inviting
you for your time,
me,
Lisa.
and for your time as well. And I wish you all the best with the podcast. Let's keep things rolling.
Yeah.